I got interested in stories about how new technologies become adopted. And I started looking into a new kind of treatment for breast cancer. The focus of my story was really about what kind of evidence is available for different kinds of treatments, and looking at how people opt for treatments when there is less evidence than there may be for traditional treatment, as is in the case of these new breast cancer radiation treatments like the Mammocyte. Mammocyte is a technology that allows women to get radiation for a period of 5 days compared to the traditional 6 weeks that it may take for traditional radiation. I went out to Michigan to talk to women and patients about why they were making the decisions they were about which treatments to choose. And I realized in the course of talking with them that the decision is much more complicated than I had guessed.
I was diagnosed in June '08. I wanted the least aggressive form of treatment possible.
6.5 weeks seemed like a lot to me. I mean, I work, and like I said, I'm a mom and a grandma and everything, so all those came into factor.
I mean, this sounds probably very selfish, but my husband and I have a little cottage up north, and we spend a lot of time up there. And I wanted to be able to go as I pleased.
Well, whatever you can do to advance medical science is what it's all about. I have 2 daughters, and I have 4 granddaughters and sisters, and, so you want to do what you can.
Part of the decisions that women face have a lot to do with their individual situations. Some women are simply not appropriate candidates, and some women, as they explore the treatment, decide that it isn't for them. Sue West, for example, was initially very enthusiastic about the treatment, but when the mammogram came back suggesting that she was at risk for numerous additional surgeries, she opted for a double mastectomy.
I had a mammogram just before starting the Mammocyte radiation, and it showed that there were still calcifications that looked suspicious. So in turn, things stopped right there.
Many women are enthusiastic about Mammocyte. They are very much sold on the idea that they can get a treatment that's only 5 days and not 6 weeks. And many are very happy with how it went. Ida Doherty, for example, had Mammocyte and is very enthusiastic about its possibilities for other women.
I think it's the way of the future. I think you're not going to find too many women going for 6 weeks unless they just have reasons that they can't do. They're not candidates for the other. And I think with progress, they're going to be more women are going to be candidates, because I think that they're going to come a long way with this therapy.
Many women and their doctors are enthusiastic about the prospects for Mammocyte. It seems to represent a real step forward in having women have a less invasive, less onerous procedure. At the end of the day, though, we don't know. I spoke with Dr. Frank Vicini, who's one of the nation's foremost experts in Mammocyte and one of the people who is most excited about the prospects of these new treatments. And even he is very cautious about using this treatment before all the evidence is in.
We have to be very cautious about it. But with many cancers, such as breast and prostate cancer, it's not a 5-year outcome that you're looking for. It's the 10, 15, and 20-year outcome, if not even longer. And so many argue that, well, you can't simply look at the 5-year data or the 10-year data. You have to do a large study to validate these excellent early results from these trials.
At the end of the day, women are faced making an extraordinarily difficult decision. And my reporting suggests that the evidence is really not there for them to be able to make a purely scientific decision about which treatment is best for them. So all those trade-offs about whether 5 days is really much better for them than 6 weeks, the risk of overall radiation, all of those things become much more difficult in the absence of conclusive evidence.